Hey guys, it's AJ here, and this is the Testimony Challenge. This was created by Jackie Rowell Sunday night, and it's a way for Christians to share their testimony or their story, however you call it, with their friends and family and everything on Facebook, and then they nominate 7 other people to do the same thing, and then they share their stories, and it just goes on and on and on. And it's a way for Christians to show what the gospel and the love of Jesus has done in their lives. So here is my story. I was raised by 2 Southern Baptist parents, and they'd been raised Christian all their lives. They'd been saved at very young ages. So when I came along, they probably hoped that was going to be the same thing for me. Then my dad went into the military, and we got transferred to Alaska. We went to a little church there for a couple years. Then we moved to Nebraska, and we went to this big Lutheran church in the area, and we were there for 7 years. That's where most of my church teachings and stuff came from. But I never accepted Christ there. I went through this little communion class, I guess, and that was probably the closest I got to being saved in Nebraska. Then we moved to North Dakota. There were a couple churches there that we didn't really like, so we just kind of stopped going. We're listening to a Christian radio station, and that was about it. But then in 2011, my grandfather passed away, and so we went back to West Virginia. That's where I was born. That's where my dad had been raised his whole life. And we went there. The pastor at the funeral, he was giving his little speech and stuff, and then the words that came out to me most were, "If you do not have a relationship with Jesus Christ, you will never see George Cleghorn again." And from what my mom has told me later on, that is where Jack accepted. That's where Jack decided that he wanted to get saved and baptized and all that stuff immediately. He had been thinking about that for a very long time since then, and he actually got saved about in 2013, a couple years later when we moved down to Texas. I was still a little kind of skeptical. I started asking a couple more questions about the Bible and God, Jesus, and all that stuff with my mom, but I did not accept Christ until a little later. Then we moved down to Texas in the fall of 2012 and started coming to Oak Ridge Baptist Church, the church I go to now, about a week or so after Thanksgiving. And I've been going there for a couple years and just kind of more thinking about everything that I've been going on, and just a few after a couple months, sort of been thinking about it. Is this what I want? Like I felt that I needed Jesus in my life, but I didn't want to admit that I needed Jesus in my life. If you can understand what I'm getting at. But then there was an event at our school called See You at the Pole, where a bunch of kids from a bunch of churches around the area would pray around the flagpoles of their church to pray for safety for the students and staff and everything else, for the country and everything. And it was a little bit after that it ended that I sort of got a little nudging, like, "Hey, it's time. You need to do this." So I went up to Miss Lena. She is the pastor's wife. She was the one there for everybody. I came up to her and I said, "Hey, the next time that you see Pastor G, could you tell him that I'm ready to accept Christ?" And she was just kind of happy. She's like, "Well, you don't need to wait for Pastor G to do this. You can just do it, right now." So I prayed with Miss Lena in front of the high school, and I accepted Christ right there. I was baptized the following Sunday. Baptism's not saved, if that's what you're thinking. It's the Romans 10:9. If you confess with your mouth Lord Jesus Christ and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved. That is what saves you. Baptism is just a symbolic thing. Anyway, not a little more than that. And since then, it's definitely, I feel like I've grown a little more in my faith. Definitely started reading my Bible and praying a little more. Not as much as I'd like to be, but definitely a lot more than I used to. And actually, last summer, I went on a mission trip to Belize to share the gospel with other people, with people of Mescal. And that's my story. I'm still trying to grow as a Christian and all that, everything. So, I guess this is the point of the video where I nominate 7 other people. So, I guess let's do Jake Roten, John Dowell, Caitlin Atkins, Alex Wixon, Elise Baring, Chris Flynn, and I guess I'll nominate my mom, Nicole Cleghorn. So those are my 7. So love to hear y'all's stories, and I really hope you liked mine, I guess is the best way to put it. Yeah, I hope if you learned anything, hope maybe this can shine a light into y'all's lives, and thank you very much for anybody that watched it. And yeah, so that's my story, and I will talk to y'all later.